Coming up this hour on Chris 6 Sunrise, there's a shift in tone at City Hall. How the city's approach on water has changed from talking to listening. Plus, a pair of new fire stations are coming to Corpus Christi. We'll tell you when the neighborhoods will get the new fire stations.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Another step forward for the Yarn Ammonia Project. I'm Adam Beam in Ingleside, looking at Monday's vote and what comes next.
Good morning. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brian and Michelle have the day off. Let's turn it over to Stephen Jones, who's standing by with a look at your roadways before you head out the door this morning. Hey, Stephen, good morning.
Well, good morning, Michaela. Welcome back to Sunrise, of course. How are you feeling today?
Thank you. I am feeling good to be here, a little bit sleep deprived, but we're here.
Yeah,
we're ready to go.
Absolutely. We're getting through it. We're, checking everything out, and it's not too bad out there, feeling the 60s. I was a little chilly yesterday. I don't know about you in those 40s, but the 60s not too bad today. And if you see the board behind me, plenty of green on it, as well as we're looking on the traffic if you're getting ready to head out the door. Let's take an in-depth look now here at some of our traffic out there over by the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland this morning. Starting off our 6 a.m. hour, going to be nice and green over that way if you're going to be heading over there. As we look into Corpus Christi, some of our major roadways, Ocean Drive not looking too bad. Still seeing a pretty minor slowdown there on Ennis Jocelyn you want to be mindful of though. SPID, Saratoga, and Crosstown Expressway though, all three of those coming in good and green this morning as we're starting off, I should say, the 6 a.m. hour now as we work a little bit closer to the island over in Flower Bluff. Flower Bluff Drive, no major slowdowns to report as of right now. Waldron Road, looking like a minor slowdown there to be mindful of, but not too bad at least. And of course, the normal one we always see about this time of morning over by the Naval Air Station, and some of those drive times for you: 22 minutes from downtown to the island, 8 minutes from Portland to downtown, Cal Allen to downtown sitting around that 15-minute mark. So wherever you're coming from and going to, going to be good and green to head out the door and kick off your Wednesday morning.
Thanks, Stephen. We'll get to your neighborhood news in just a bit. But first, the House Rules Committee met on Tuesday to take up the Senate-passed funding package to reopen the government. This package extends government funding through January 30th, as well as fully fund SNAP benefits through the end of next September. The Rules Committee is a necessary step before the legislation can make it to the House floor. A vote will follow before the package is sent to President Donald Trump. The Supreme Court is not forcing the president to fully fund SNAP during the government shutdown. Last night's ruling extends a freeze on an earlier ruling that would require the Trump administration to fully fund the food program in November. The decision means that until the government shutdown ends, the SNAP program will be about 65% funded. The Trump administration has argued that because of the shutdown, it could only spend $5 billion out of a contingency fund to partially pay for November's SNAP benefits. And back here at home, City Manager Peter Zanoni didn't just speak numbers at Tuesday's council meeting. He talked about getting out of City Hall. Over the past couple
but making sure we get out into the community, make ourselves available, give good information, and more importantly, listen to what people need is part of the job, and it's a fun part of the job to some extent.
Zanoni says he'll continue that outreach over the next 2 weeks, meeting with ranchers and farmers across Nueces and San Patricio counties. It's all part of making sure they stay informed and keeping the city out of a level 1 water emergency. And just a reminder, we are still under stage 3 water restrictions. Some of those restrictions include no lawn watering, home car washing is limited to hand washing with a 5-gallon bucket on your designated watering day. Swimming pools can be maintained but must be covered when not in use. Hand watering of gardens and plants is allowed, but only before 10 a.m. and after 6 p.m. And foundation watering by drip irrigation is allowed every other week on your designated watering day.
Mayor Pro Tem Hall.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And with that vote, the future of Project Yarn became more clear. The goal is to build a blue ammonia production facility in Ingleside. Monday night's council meeting drawing in hundreds from the community. So many, in fact, that some couldn't even make it inside. With a 4-2 vote supporting the first reading of a special use permit, I also reached out to Enbridge, one of the 2 companies in charge of the project. In a statement to Chris 6 News, the company wrote, "This is an important project for the community and the region," adding they look forward to continuing the conversation and the project's next steps.
The second reading for the Yarn project is scheduled for Tuesday, December 9th. Reporting in Ingleside, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam, for Chris 6 News.
City Council has approved 2 new fire stations for the Coastal Bend. Council voted to award a contract for the design of a new fire station number 11. The current station number 11 on Airline near Galahar was built in 1960. Its replacement will be built just up the street on Airline near St. Pius Drive. If all goes as planned, construction will begin in March 2027 and wrap up in March 2028. A design contract was also approved for a new fire station number 9. The current station, built in 1956, is on navigation between Leopard and Agnes. Its new home will be on Leopard near Corn Products Road. Work on the new fire station number 9 is also expected to begin in March 2027 with a completion date of March 2028.
Well, good Wednesday morning there, Coastal Bend, getting a live look out at our USS Lexington cam brought to us by First Community Bank, sitting at that 59-degree mark. Winds out of the south-southeast about 8 miles an hour. Looks like the aquarium lit up nice and neat as well now. Nice pretty view there. And the Harbor Bridge, just a few cars starting to hit it as well. The water's looking nice and clear out there, but just a gorgeous view to start off our Wednesday, and not too chilly either if you were a little bit chilly yesterday. And yesterday we were at that 40-degree mark around this time. That daytime high, though, got to about 76 degrees, right on the money with that average around 77. Either way, short of those records, 32 back in 2011, and that daytime high record 89 from 1962. And of course, we know we need plenty of rain to make up for the 2025 deficit so far. Whenever we're looking at those winds in your neighborhood, a little breezier along the coast, 10 miles an hour there in Port Aransas, 9 over at the Naval Air Station. As you work inland, a little calmer, 3 miles an hour there in Alice, as well as Beeville and Cotulla this morning. Freer getting a little breezier as well, around 13 miles an hour right now, but all of us going to hold on to this southerly flow, and that's going to increase moisture as we go through these next few days. Those current temperatures in your neighborhood, a little warmer as usual in Port Aransas at 72 degrees. Beeville coming in at 54. That's the same as Freer. San Diego going to be that cool spot at 50 degrees this morning. Luckily, no 40s on the board if you're chilly in the 40s, but still jacket worthy, I'd say, as you're heading out the door out there. Looking at the temperature changes over the past 24 hours, we're pretty warm compared to yesterday. 20 degrees warmer in Port Aransas as well as Kingsville compared to yesterday. Here in Corpus Christi, about 15 degrees warmer, similar to Beeville this morning. All of us just definitely feeling not quite as chilly as we were yesterday, and that's thanks to the moisture that has moved in. But that moisture that moved in going to continue to climb through these next few days. You could see by the end of the weekend, even into next week, that's really start to get into that 70 range, and then that very humid range. Hopefully we don't see them make their way above that 75 degree mark. That's what I should say. That's where we start to feel a little bit of oppressive air you can wear kind of moisture in the air. Whenever we're looking at your dog walking forecast today, we've got Blue and Bella here ready to go on their walk, of course, and looking at those temperatures for you. A little bit of a good warm up. 72 degrees by 9 a.m., 76 by 10 a.m. As we go into that 12 p.m. hour, about 81 degrees with those winds also picking up out of the south, about 10 to 20 miles an hour this afternoon. In terms of feels like temperatures for that daytime high, getting into those mid to lower 80s. 84 degrees is the peak around 2 to 3 p.m., so that's what we're looking out for. Still, luckily, it's not the 90s like we were seeing a few weeks ago, but hopefully we start to see some more weather makers working in. Of course, we know we could use some more rain working into the area. Those forecast highs in your neighborhood, a little cooler along the coast as usual. Those upper 70s expected from Port Aransas through about the Naval Air Station. 80s around Corpus Christi, 82 degrees, 80 there in Sinton. And then as you work your way inland, that's where we see the mid to upper 80s, 86 degrees, that forecast high, I should say, for Freer as well as Hebbronville as we go through our Wednesday. So a little toasty compared to what we saw these past few days. Whenever we're looking at that 7-day forecast, that's exactly what we're going to see and hold on to. Those temperatures slowly warming up into those mid 80s by the time we're going into the end of the weekend with more of that moisture working in. Unfortunately, no rain on the board, but overnight lows go into the 70s by next week.
I'm Joe St. George on Capitol Hill. How costly was this government shutdown? The longest in American history. We add up the numbers. Next.
Welcome back. The House of Representatives is expected to vote as early as this evening on legislation to reopen the government and end the longest shutdown in American history. So what has the cost of over 40 days of government inaction been to the country and to our economy? Our Joe St. George reports.
The deal to reopen the federal government only funds the government through the end of January, which means, yes, in a few short weeks, we could once again be talking about the threat of a government shutdown. But the fall 2025 shutdown will go down in history, not just for its length, but for its cost. From confusion over food assistance and long lines at food banks.
We don't have the money to buy something that we would want.
To travel headaches at airports.
Ridiculous that I feel like everybody's being held hostage.
To federal workers going without pay.
I'm nervous for my fellow employees. I'm nervous that their funds are running out.
The 2025 government shutdown has been historic.
It will be the most expensive shutdown in history.
Wendy Edelberg knows something about shutdowns. She helped calculate the cost of the 2018-2019 shutdown when she worked at the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office as chief economist. She's tracking the impacts of this shutdown too, which is estimated to cost the economy anywhere between $10 to $15 billion.
The part that we never get back is the work that these federal workers should have been doing if they had been on the job.
Edelberg says when federal workers receive their back pay, SNAP food assistance benefits are paid, airports return to normal, and the federal government begins buying again, the economy should rebound in the weeks to come. However, she fears the impacts of this shutdown may linger because of a demoralized federal workforce.
If you have basically kneecapped the federal workforce, that you can see, a less productive federal government going forward.
There has also been a political cost to this shutdown. On October 1st, the approval rating for Congress was 28%, according to Real Clear Politics polling average. As of November 10th, it has dropped to 18%. That could affect politics in next year's midterms. And then there are the health care impacts from this shutdown not yielding any health insurance policy changes. Expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies at the end of this year are projected to result in 4.2 million Americans dropping coverage because premium costs are too high. KFF, a healthcare policy group, estimates that Obamacare insurers are raising premiums 26% on average. Joe St. George, Scripps News Group, Washington.
Well, good Wednesday morning there, Coastal Bend, taking a live look out at our USS Lexington camp. Thanks to First Community Bank, sitting at that 59-degree mark, winds out of the south-southeast, about 8 miles an hour, and of course the aquarium nice and lit up now. A few cars hitting the causeway, the harbor bridge there, as well as we're looking out there, but starting to get just a little bit of the sunrise, as well as we're starting off the 6 a.m. hour. Getting a look at the past 10 hours, a pretty slow cool down at that 67 degrees by 8 p.m. last night, 66 pretty popular from about 9 p.m. through 2 a.m. and then finally got down to about 60 by 5 a.m. and now about 59 degrees. Should start to warm up as we go through about the 6 a.m. hour, especially into the 7 and 8 a.m. hour, of course. Looking at those temperatures in your neighborhood, the warm spot as usual in Port Aransas is at 72 degrees. The cool spot, San Diego, this morning coming in around 50 degrees. Here in Corpus Christi, like we said, 59, 56 up there in Rockport. Then Beeville rounding us off to the north at 53 degrees this morning. Looking at those dew points in the 50s as you work your way inland. Along the coast, just a little bit more in those 60s, starting to feel the moisture, and this is why we're not quite as cool this morning compared to the past couple of mornings. Starting to see that southerly flow return, as well as more moisture, and that's going to take more energy to cool it off and heat it up during the day. Looking at the muggy meter, you can see it's only going to climb throughout the next few days. We're still sitting in relatively dry air now, only getting it just barely into that muggy category. By the end of the weekend into next week, that's where we start to see that very humid category take back over, with dew points in those 70s once again. Unfortunately, just not looking too likely for rain with the moisture in the area right now. Looking at your dog walking forecast, today we've got Blue and Bella here ready to go on their walk, of course, and taking a look at those temperatures. A good warm up on the way. By 9 a.m., 72 degrees, 79 there by 11 a.m. Noon coming in around 81 degrees with those winds out of the south, 10 to 20 miles an hour as we go into the afternoon. So a little bit breezy into the afternoon, but luckily not going to be feeling too hot out there. Only getting into those low to mid 80s, about 84 degrees the peak there by 2 to 3 p.m. Feeling like those 80s, so not too bad as you're stepping out the door. You're welcome to go and enjoy all those outdoor activities, of course. And looking at those forecast highs, you can see where we're going to be a little cooler as usual along the coast thanks to that water-cooled air. Here in Corpus Christi, about 82 to 3 degrees. As you work your way to the west, 86 degrees the forecast high out there in Freer, so a little bit warmer, but not too bad as we're stepping out the door. We're really going through that forecast high for our Wednesday, but really going to remain above average throughout the next 10 days. Unfortunately, you can see really not supposed to get too close to average, I should say, until that 22nd mark, but even then then still models have a lot of time to change that with the weather. So we're going to see if we can start to see some more weather makers and some more cool weather, especially rain making its way back into the coastal bend. Just for right now, not looking like it's on the board, and you can see that on the 7-day forecast. It's pretty much a persistence forecast, just a slow warm up going into those upper 80s by the time we're going into the end of weekend and starting off next week, with those overnight lows following the same trend from those mid 60s to the lower 70s to start off next week.
Ford Motors wants to make shopping for cars more comfortable. Coming up on Sunrise, what the dealership is doing to make shoppers feel more at home. Ford is working on a new design for its dealerships with a focus on more hospitality and less sales pressure. They want it to feel less like a dealership and more like a hotel. The design is called Ford Signature 2.0. The open concept showroom has lounge seating, a center area with food and beverages, and a greeter to welcome customers. The goal is for all of Ford's 9,000 dealerships worldwide to eventually adopt the concept. Getting eloped might not be as romantic as having a traditional wedding, but it could help your wallet. Over the past 5 years, the price tag on an average wedding has risen nearly 20% to $33,000. That's according to wedding marketplace The Knot. That upward trend is expected to continue in part because of the Trump administration's tariffs. Roughly 20% of vendors say charges on non-U.S. countries have caused their prices to go up for items including dresses, rings, and even cake ingredients. The CEO of The Knot Worldwide says vendors have to make tough calls and decide whether to raise prices or absorb the additional cost themselves.
Well, good Wednesday morning there, Coastal Bend, taking a live look out at our USS Lexington Skycam, brought to us by First Community Bank. Starting to get some more light in the sky with that sunrise coming up. A few cars there on the harbor bridge. Of course, the aquarium lit up nice and pretty this morning as well as we're heading out the door. Whenever we're looking at those roadways, though, not too bad in terms of traffic so far, as far as I'm seeing at least. Let's take an in-depth look here at the harbor bridge to and from Portland this morning. Going to be good and green if you're heading out the door that way towards Portland or Ingleside, of course, as well as we're looking over into Corpus Christi, Ocean Drive, no major slowdowns. Ennis Dawson also seems to have cleared up now. SPID, Saratoga, Crosstown Expressway, all three looking good and clear this morning as you're heading out the door. Whenever we work our way a little closer to Flower Bluff now, Flower Bluff Drive looking good and green out the door, as well as Waldron Road seems to have cleared up now with just that normal minor slowdown we see closer to the Naval Air Station. Some of those drive times for you this morning, sitting at 21 minutes from downtown to the island, 8 minutes from Portland to downtown, Cal Allen to downtown, sitting around that 15-minute mark. So wherever you're coming from and going to, good and green to head out the door and kick off your Wednesday morning.
They once ruled the skies, and now they're back to tell their stories. Still ahead on Sunrise, I'll show you how the aircrafts of yesterday are inspiring the aviators of tomorrow.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Well, 6:26 a.m. Good Wednesday morning there, Coastal Bend. Getting a live look out at our Snoopy Skycam, brought to us by Matthew CCAC. You can see sitting around 59 degrees here in downtown Corpus Christi, closer to that 69 or 67 degree mark over by Snoopy Skycam, I should say. And getting a little color in the sky thanks to that sunrise as well. Water's looking nice and calm. I haven't seen too many boaters on the water, but I'm sure there's a few out there as well. But nice and not so chilly this morning as well compared to what we were seeing yesterday in those 40s. Compared over the past 10 hours, we've only seen the 60s for the most part. 67 degrees by 8 p.m. last night, and then 66, a pretty popular number throughout most of the overnight hours. Finally, by about 5 a.m. into 6 a.m., see that 60 and then 59 degree mark make their way back into the area. So about 19 degrees warmer for that overnight low so far than what we were seeing yesterday. Looking at those temperatures in your neighborhood, a little warmer there in Port Aransas at 72 degrees. Rockport coming in at 56, 59 here in town, 53 for Beeville, same for Cotulla. And then as we look at the cool spot, that's going to be San Diego this morning, coming in at a nice 50 degrees over there to the west just a little bit. Whenever we're looking at those dew points, they're always also on the rise, and this is part of why we're waking up a little bit warmer than what we saw the past couple of days. Dew points are back into the 60s and the 50s as you work your way inland, so more moisture on the way and doesn't look to stop as we go through our Wednesday or even into the weekend as well. You could see that reflected on our muggy meter here. Only going to see those dew points climbing through about the next 5 days, entering the 60s, especially by really already entering the 60s 60s along the coast, but as we go into the end of the weekend, that's where we see the 70s making their return to Corpus Christi. Hopefully we just don't see that 75 and then upwards of 80 degrees for that dew points. That's where it really becomes the oppressive air you can wear, although I think even above 70, that starts to get just a little bit oppressive to me as well in terms of that moisture. Looking at your dog walking forecast, though, not too bad today. Today we've got Blue and Bella here ready to go on their walk, and as we look at those temperatures, like I said, not too bad of a morning for it. 72 degrees by 9 a.m., 76 for 10 a.m. As we go to that lunch hour, about 81 degrees with those winds also picking up this morning out of the south, 5 to 10 miles an hour. This afternoon, looking closer to that 10 to 20 mile an hour mark. Looking at your feels like temperatures throughout our day in Corpus Christi, only going to be those low to mid 80s, peaking about 84 degrees 2 to 3 p.m. today. And of course, that nice nightly cool down back into the 60s and potentially even the feels like temperatures in the 50s with a nice breeze as well as we go into the overnight hours. Looking at your forecast highs in your neighborhood, as usual, a little cooler along the coast, 77 for Port Aransas and Aransas Pass, 82 here in Corpus Christi. That's the same for Beeville, but as you work inland, that's where you start to see more 85, 86, 87 degrees on the board. Starts to get just a little bit warmer as you work your way inland, thanks to the lack of moisture, I should say, inland. And as we look at the next 10 days, don't expect these temperatures to go anywhere for now. Going to remain above average for the most part through the next 10 days. A slow cool down there by the end of it. At least that's what model guidance currently has, because that far out, it can definitely still change for now. But hopefully we start to see some cooler weather making its way into the coastal bend, and definitely some more weather makers. We could use it. And like I said, the moisture is returning for the area. Just unfortunately, the rain chances very unlikely, only barely getting into that isolated category. So in terms of the rainfall deficit, I don't think we're going to be seeing too much of a dent in it for now. And in terms of that drought monitor, hopefully we start to see some more rain on the board soon for that drought monitor as well. Throughout our 7-day forecast, though, like I said, no rain for now. I'm sorry about that. But in terms of the temperatures, going to be slowly warming up into those mid to upper 80s by the end of the weekend into next week, with overnight lows following the same trend from the mid 60s this week, and then by the time we're starting off next week, into those lower 70s.
So a Robstown veteran won a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the state 2 years ago, but this month he'll once again be fighting in court. I'm Michelle Hoffman with the latest on Leroy Torres' case for this week's Veterans in Focus.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
Some thought Leroy Torres, a Robstown local, became a millionaire after a jury awarded him nearly $2.5 million 2 years ago. But the Iraq War veteran and former DPS trooper tells me that's far from his reality. In fact, his legal fight with the Texas Department of Public Safety still isn't over. I'm Michelle Hoffman with the story in this week's Veterans in Focus.
There will be a list of other cases.
Leroy Torres is gearing up for yet another day in court later this November. For years, he's been fighting a legal battle with his former employer, the Texas Department of Public Safety.
I just want to get past this, to close this chapter, for that healing to begin.
Back in 2017, Torres sued DPS, claiming the agency failed to accommodate his service-related disabilities. He says his health struggles stem from permanent lung damage caused by exposure to burn pits during his deployment in Iraq.
My career came to pretty much to an end.
His case even made it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court in 2022, where justices ruled in his favor, saying states can be sued under the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act, or USERRA.
We won. God was on our side, baby, like you said.
Then in 2023, I was there when a jury unanimously awarded Torres nearly $2.5 million. But that victory didn't last long. The state appealed the decision, and now the case is set to go before the 15th Court of Appeals on November 20th.
Texas is saying, okay, maybe the jury got it right. We're not admitting that, but to the extent they awarded him almost $2.5 million in back pay, that number was incorrect. Our position is he should have been continued to have been paid as a Trooper 4 with all the seniority-based raises, and we showed the jury all that evidence, every pay chart.
The decision was unanimous. There should be enough trust in the people who made that decision.
Torres says this case isn't just about him. He believes the outcome could set the tone for how veterans are protected in workplaces across the country.
And I've had numerous first responders approach me offline, like, I have ailments, but I'm afraid to speak out because I don't want to lose my job. And that's horrible for them to feel that.
It is unclear when the case will be resolved, but Torres says he hopes to put this all behind him so he can continue focusing on his health and helping other veterans through his nonprofit Burn Pits 360.
This doesn't take away from my patriotism. I would serve my nation again, my state. My prayer is that the court make the right decision, not only for myself, but for the sake of all the veterans. If they truly mean thank you for your service, that they fulfill their obligation.
Now, Torres is encouraging the public to follow the case. It'll be broadcasted live on YouTube, or you can attend in person. We posted those details on our website. And folks, I would like to note, I did reach out to the Texas Department of Public Safety for comment, but just like in 2023, I haven't received a response. From the studio, I'm Michelle Hoffman with this week's Veterans in Focus.
Well, 6:36 a.m. Good Wednesday morning there, Coastal Bend. Taking a live look out at Snoopy's Pier, thanks to Matthew CCAC. You can see sitting at 67 degrees. Those winds are out of the south as well as 9 miles an hour, and not too bad out there to kick off our Wednesday morning. Getting a nice sunrise on the horizon as well now. As we're looking in your neighborhoods at those current temperatures, some warm, some cool out there. Port Aransas is coming in at 72 degrees, just a little warm this morning, and then 52 over there in Alice, so a good 20 degrees of spread from east to west across the Coastal Bend right now. Those winds also all of us pretty much out of the south, about that 5 to 10 mile an hour mark, and not seeming too bad in terms of visibilities. Alice around that 6 mile mark, but not too bad either, I'd say, as you're heading out the door. So not too much fog to worry about, and that's because the dew points are only in those 50s as we work our way inland, in the 60s along the coast, but we're only going to see these rise as we go through the next few days, even into the 70s by the weekend. Of course, I'll go over all those rain chances with the extra moisture and the full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
Now, 20 minutes of non-stop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brian and Michelle have the day off. We have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning, but first, let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones. Good morning, Stephen. How are those roadways looking this morning?
Well, good morning, Michaela. Welcome back to Sunrise, of course. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Great to be here with you.
Of course, and I gotta say, it's not too bad out there this morning. You know, not as chilly as we saw yesterday morning, right?
Yeah, it's not as bad. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you see on the board behind me, plenty of green. So we're starting off the Wednesday morning not too bad. Maybe just a little sleep deprived, but hopefully you get the coffee in there and it turns out all right. Looking at our SPID Skycam, 6:40 a.m. A few more cars starting to hit the roadway there, but still doesn't look like any major slowdowns here on SPID. Let's take a good look at all of our roadways across Corpus Christi now, to and from Portland this morning on the new Harbor Bridge. Going to be good and green that way, it looks like, as we're heading closer to the 7 a.m. hour. Over into Corpus Christi, some of our major roadways, just like we saw on the Skycam, SPID looking good and green. Also, Ocean Drive, Crosstown Expressway, and Saratoga there in South Corpus Christi, all three looking good and green this morning if you're going to be taking those roadways. As we work a little bit closer to the island, over towards Flower Bluff Drive, a minor slowdown there, but not too bad. Waldron Road, a little bit more of a slowdown you want to be mindful of, and of course the normal one we see closer to the Naval Air Station. Some of those drive times for you this morning. Downtown to the island sitting at 22 minutes, 8 minutes from Portland to downtown. Cal Allen to downtown sitting around 15 minutes, so not too bad wherever you're coming from and going to this morning. Going to be good and green to get out the door and kick off your Wednesday morning.
Thanks, Stephen. We have plenty of neighborhood news to get to this morning. From City Manager Peter Zanoni wanting community engagement during the city's water planning to neighbors around the Coastal Bend honoring veterans. We have you covered in your neighborhood check-in.
At Tuesday's City Council meeting, City Manager Peter Zanoni didn't just talk numbers or projects. He talked about getting out of City Hall. From standing at the Wesley Seal Dam alongside other city managers talking drought and regional water supply.
Because we hear what you're saying and we know how important this is.
To sitting with residents in Cal Allen, concerned about the city's new emergency groundwater wells. Zanoni says it's all part of staying focused and listening.
But making sure we get out into the community, make ourselves available, give good information, and more importantly, listen to what people need as part of the job, and it's a fun part of the job to some extent.
Zanoni says the goal is keeping residents informed while keeping the city out of level 1 water emergency restrictions. That means planning ahead and keeping key projects moving forward.
Mayor Pro Tem Hall.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And with that vote, the future of Project Yarn became more clear. The goal is to build a blue ammonia production facility in Ingleside. Monday night's council meeting drawing in hundreds from the community. So many, in fact, that some couldn't even make it inside. With a 4-2 vote supporting the first reading of a special use permit, I also reached out to Enbridge, one of the two companies in charge of the project. In a statement to Chris 6 News, the company wrote, "This is an important project for the community and the region," adding they look forward to continuing the conversation and the project's next steps.
The second reading for the Yarn project is scheduled for Tuesday, December 9th. Reporting in Ingleside, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam, for Chris 6 News.
Gloria Canales was born and raised in Robstown. She served our country from 1979 until 1995. As a veteran, she understands why it's important to keep others' memories alive. That's why she spends her time cleaning up the Ruben V. Garza Senior Memorial Park. Memorial Park is one of the first things you see when you come into Robstown. For years, Gloria has decorated the park to make sure it looks its best. You'll always see her there in her cowboy boots and hat. She tells me in the past, people have taken flags or other memorabilia from the park. That's why she always comes back and makes sure those who rest here are never forgotten. On a day like Veterans Day, Canales thinks of those who have fought for our country while also reflecting on her time serving.
I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Alice, where veterans and their families came together to honor those who served and to remember those who continue to serve. A special ceremony at Veterans Park, a place dedicated to those who defended our country. Silvestre Rodriguez is proud to have served. He enlisted in the Marines in 1990, serving in Desert Storm and Desert Shield. Now he helps other veterans at the VFW Post 8621.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter on the South Side, here at Veterans Memorial High School, where students in the community honor their family members in uniform. And I spoke to some of those veterans today.
Every single person here at some level was willing to sacrifice all they had to make sure that we were free and we stayed free.
Michael Tracy fought in Operation Desert Storm. You might have noticed Michael's daughter Megan in her ROTC uniform. She tells me she takes direct inspiration from Dad.
He really gives me critique and helps me a lot, and I really like having him by my side.
Molly Schlumberger is a teacher at Veterans Memorial. I noticed her on the display, and she remembers some of the sacrifices she had to make.
There were times in my life where I was separated from my kids, and so you're like, yeah, there are chapters that were closed and then they get reopened every year. So it's just humbling.
School leaders say they'll keep this display up year after year, giving military families a place to share their stories of success and sacrifice. On the South Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
Well, 6:46 a.m. Good Wednesday morning there, Coastal Bend. Taking a live look out at Snoopy's Pier, thanks to Matthews CCAC, sitting at 67 degrees there, 59 here in downtown, and a nice sunrise on the board as well, with the waters looking pretty calm with winds not too bad either this morning compared to what we were seeing just, that was last week, I think, where we had the 30-mile-an-hour winds, so much calmer now and much warmer as well compared to the last couple of days from what we've been seeing. Looking at yesterday, it was 40 degrees for that morning low. So far, we've only hit about 59, so that'd be a 19-degree difference in about 24 hours. The daytime high yesterday, 76, almost right on the money for that average. Supposed to be about 77 this time of year. And of course, either way, short of those records. The cold one, that 32 degrees back in 2011, 89 degrees, the hot one back in 1962, and plenty of rainfall needed so far to make up for 2025. If we don't get some more in soon, going to be coming up on that 13-inch shy mark for 2025. Temperatures in your neighborhood, the warm spot going to be Port Aransas as usual, coming in around 72 degrees. Not too bad this morning, maybe just a little warm. Over there to inland, a little bit cooler. George West coming in at 55 degrees. The cool spot going to be 50 over there in San Diego this morning, and then Cotulla off to the northwest, rounding us out about 53 degrees. Also Rockport coming in there at 56 degrees. So a wide spread of temperatures, I should say, across the coastal bend this morning, and you're starting to feel a little bit more moisture. That's why we're not quite as cold, I should say, this morning compared to the past two mornings, but that's only going to rise through about the next 5 days, and you can see that reflected pretty well here on our muggy meter, really going above that 65-degree mark by about Friday, and then by the time we're going into the end of the weekend and starting off next week, that's where we got to start to get that very humid air back in place, that 70-degree mark. Hopefully we start to not see the 75-degree mark. That's where you really start to see that oppressive air you can wear feeling, but I think 70 is pretty humid as is already. As we're looking at our dog walking forecast, Blue and Bella here are ready to go on their walk, our dogs of the day. And as we look at those temperatures, a pretty good spread this morning, going from 67 at 8 a.m., 79 there by 11 a.m. as we enter that noon hour and lunchtime, entering the 80s as well, with winds also picking up just a little bit. A south 5 to 10 this morning, more like 10 to 20 as we go into the early afternoon and then into the evening, with gusts you can't rule out up to 25 miles an hour at times as well. Looking at your feels like temperature is going to be in those low to mid 80s, peaking about 84 degrees there by 2 to 3 p.m. I should say, where we're going to peak in those temperatures. Unfortunately, just not seeing a lot of rain around the area, so forecast highs today on the warm up from what we saw yesterday into those upper 70s along the coast, low 80s as we work around Corpus Christi, and then as you work your way further inland, that's where we start to see some more of those upper 80s on the board. 86 for Orange Grove, as well as freer out there, even some 87, 88 degrees possible if we get a little bit more sunshine than I'm forecasting. For current Doppler radar, not too bad out there either, seeing no rain on the board right now, and we could definitely use it. The future tracker exactly shows this clear skies as we go through our day, so looking for some more rain into the area, and that's just not on the 7-day forecast for now. We might see it after we get out of the next 7 days, but for now, just going to hold on to those daytime highs in the 80s, even 86 degrees by the end of the weekend, with overnight lows also warming up from the mid-60s to the 70s by next week.
Restored aircrafts are taking flight once again for warbirds over South Texas, bringing history to life and inspiring the next generation to reach for the skies.
It brings history alive, and you hear that a lot, but whenever you hear a 1,400 horsepower radial engine start up, you don't forget that.
28 World War II aircraft.
So this airplane is an advanced trainer that was built for World War II.
From trainers to bombers.
We did secure a Curtiss Helldiver, one of 3 flying in the world.
All will be a part of this year's Warbirds over South Texas event, including the famous Barba 3.
And what's cool is we get to honor our president, George H.W. Bush, and his flying career in the World War II.
It's a full weekend of history.
They played a major role in some of the battles and campaigns that won the war for the U.S. You name it, it's all things aviation.
Executive Director of Axe Aviation, Cody Stewart, knows that inspiration firsthand.
Yeah, I was that 8-year-old kid going to air shows and learning about World War II airplanes and the jets. If I could get inspired back then, these airplanes can still do it today.
Now, he wants others to know the industry is alive, growing, and in need of new talent.
The aviation career field is top 3 in the nation. And so there's a huge need for not just pilots, but for support roles.
And whether it's cargo, corporate, or military, aviation touches our lives every day.
How many people expect a Amazon Prime package in 2 days? I mean, the only way to make that happen is to put things on airplanes.
And for those ready to take that next step, Del Mar College offers an airplane mechanic program, and TAMU-CC has a drone program to help launch careers in the sky. Warbirds over South Texas is this weekend, November 15th and 16th, and starts at 8:30 in the morning at the Aransas County Airport. And for more information on that, head to our website, christv.com.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
The House Rules Committee met on Tuesday to take up the Senate-passed funding package to reopen the government. This package extends government funding through January 30th, as well as fully funds SNAP benefits through the end of next September. The Rules Committee is a necessary step before the legislation can make it to the House floor. A vote will follow before the package is sent to President Donald Trump. The Supreme Court is not forcing the president to fully fund SNAP during the government shutdown. Last night's ruling extends a freeze on an earlier ruling that would require the Trump administration to fully fund the food program in November. The decision means that until the government shutdown ends, the SNAP program will be about 65% funded. The Trump administration has argued that because of the shutdown, it could only spend $5 billion out of a contingency fund to partially pay for November's SNAP benefits. A burn ban is now in effect for Nueces County until January 20th, 2026, unless rescinded by the county judge. It prohibits all outdoor burning, including beach fires. Household trash burning is allowed if trash pickup is not available. Violators could be fined up to $500. Corpus Christi City Council has approved 2 new fire stations, Fire Station number 11 and number 9. The current station number 11 on Airline near Galahar was built in 1960. Its replacement will be built on Airline near St. Pius Drive. Fire Station number 9's current station is on Navigation between Leopard and Agnes, and that was built in 1956. Its new home will be on Leopard near Corn Products Road. Work on both stations is expected to begin in March 2027 with a completion date of March 2028. And HEB is planning a major makeover for its Saratoga Boulevard location on the south side. That's according to state records. The $32 million project will add nearly 5,000 square feet to the store and include interior renovations. Construction is set to begin in May 2026 and wrap up by April 2027. The Saratoga store, which opened in 2005, is one of HEB's larger plus format locations. We reached out to HEB, which declined to comment on the project. The Nueces County and Public Health Mobile Clinic will be making a stop in Robstown this week. It'll be at the Robstown Transfer Station on Friday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Free services include health screenings, wellness counseling, childhood immunizations, and flu shots for adults and children. No appointment is necessary. The Robstown Transfer Station is located at 401 East Avenue A. McDonald's popular McRib sandwich is back, but there's a catch. It's only available at select locations. According to the McRib Locator website, some markets began selling their sandwich last week, including the McDonald's here on South Alameda and the one in Robstown. It's unclear how long it'll be on the menu. In addition, McDonald's Holiday Pie will return nationwide starting November 14th. I haven't had that. I actually haven't had either the McRib or the holiday pie.
You know, I think I've tried the McRib. I'm personally not a big fan of the McRib. I know it does have a good fan base out there, but you said you haven't tried either?
I have not tried either. Okay. Personally, I'm actually planning on getting an apple pie right after this.
Oh, okay.
I'm an apple pie girl, yes, I guess you could say.
Apple pie is just about the best. I mean, pumpkin. See, I was always apple pie, but then I don't know if you've been to HEB in the past few years, but they have that pumpkin pie with the swirl in it of like the cream. Oh,
that sounds delicious.
Yes,
maybe I'll get it at that HEB once it's renovated.
Yeah, there you go, hopefully. I mean, but luckily, you know, just starting to get into the season, starting to feel like it a little bit more out there. I mean, today maybe not so much. I guess we're warming up just a little bit, but the past couple of days it was pretty chilly out there to start off the day in the 40s. So I'm happy about seeing that 60-degree mark on the board to start off our Wednesday. Here's a live look out at our USS Lexington Cam, brought to us by First Community Bank, sitting at that 60-degree mark, 59 here, closer to downtown Corpus Christi on our sensor at least. And as we're looking out there, getting a nice sunrise and just a few cars hitting the Harbor Bridge out there this morning. As we're looking at the past 10 hours, a decent cool down, but pretty slow at that with the moisture back in place. 66 degrees, pretty popular through about 1 a.m. Then we finally cooled off 60 by 4 a.m., 59 there by 5 a.m. into 6 a.m. and starting to slowly warm back up as we see the sun come up as well throughout the next few hours. Whenever we see the temperatures right now sitting at 72 there in Port Aransas, it's just a little bit warmer like we said, but some of our neighborhoods still feeling like the season. 50 degrees there over in San Diego, 51 over in Hebronville, 55 in Mathis, 53 off to the northwest in Cotulla. So it's definitely still some chill out there in the air, but all of us going to slowly warm up as we go through the next few days thanks to the increasing moisture, which is reflected pretty well on our muggy meter. You can see just going straight up to the 70s by the time we're heading into the end of the weekend and then starting off next week. So moisture definitely going to be starting to feel it again as we go through these next few days, and especially into the mornings as well. That's going to affect our overnight lows and warm them up. Looking at your dog walking forecast for today, we've got Blue and Bella here, of course, ready to go on their walk, just waiting for it, and looking like a good warm up this morning as well for it. 8 a.m. only 67 degrees, but then 73 by 9 a.m., 79 by 11 a.m., 81 there by that noon hour and lunchtime hour, and those winds also picking up into the later morning, getting into that 10 to 20 mile an hour range as we go into the afternoon. Whenever we're looking at your current Doppler radar, nice and quiet out there right now, and that's exactly what we're going to see throughout the rest of our Wednesday. On our future tracker, you can see just maybe a few clouds trying to sneak into the area, but overall plenty of sunshine on the way. That's going to help our temperatures warm up, and that's going to continue throughout the next few days as well. You can see we do have the moisture in place, but without any weather makers to stir them up. Just going to remain with those rain chances isolated at best as we go through the next few days. Only going to see the chance for maybe a pop-up shower. So in terms of a drought buster, really not going to be looking too great throughout the next few days. days, and as for the entire 7-day forecast, I should say, not looking too great in terms of a drought buster. Just plenty of sunshine on the board with those daytime highs slowly warming up into those mid-80s, 86 degrees by Sunday into Monday, and overnight lows next week going to be back into the 70s. So maybe just a little bit summer-like out there. What do you think about the 70s returning, Michaela?
Oh, this is definitely my weather. This is right up my alley. Not too hot, not too cold. Honestly, there's no reason I can complain. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, no, that's not too. I don't think that's too bad either. Maybe some more cold as we get into December, but I'll take the 60s and 80s.
For sure. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Sunrise, and we will see you back here for Chris 6 News at noon.